Xi's colossal miscalculation. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, as President Trump was busy bringing peace to the Middle East, President Xi was busy sabotaging his own nation's future and his relationship with the United States. In a series of hostile moves, first by slapping new export controls on rare earths, and then today by slapping fees on American ships at docks at Chinese ports, this is what went down.
This is not something that I, instigated. This was just a response to something that they did. And they didn't really aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world. The whole world is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad.
Well, that's an understatement. But before what was supposed to be a pivotal meeting between Trump and Xi in Korea, the Chinese tried to use the art of the deal, but they must have gotten a bad translation of the book because they underestimated and insulted Donald Trump. And they misread the situation on the ground here by thinking Trump was desperate to do a deal. The Wall Street Journal noted that China is trying to strengthen its leverage over Trump because they see him as eager to strike a deal. But the new fees on American vessels at the ports China controls would cost American companies close to $3.2 billion. China did call the move reciprocal today, but that's baloney. The reason that America had put its own fees on Chinese vessels is because of their obscene dominance in the industry. And remember, this was China's plan all along. Domination in every major industry, not just in Asia, but worldwide. So giving China normal trade relations status was an idiotic, greedy move. And remember, never forget this, our bipartisan establishment allowed it to happen.
This agreement exchanges membership rights for China in the WTO for economic opportunities for America in China, for American businesses and American workers. Economically, the case is clear and compelling.
And he said it would somehow benefit our national security as well.
If you want to reduce tensions along the Taiwan Strait, if you want a more stable Asia, if you want to maximize the chances of avoiding proliferation of dangerous weapons and a new arms race, a yes is the right vote.
Oh, my God. It is so stupid. How did that all work out? In 1999, before we allowed China into the WTO, China controlled only about 5% of the world's shipping. But as of 2023, it controlled 50%, along with 95% of shipping container production worldwide. It also owns nearly 20% of all commercial ships and operates 7 of the world's 10 busiest ports. More madness. It gets worse. Chinese companies own partial stakes through joint ventures in several of our major U.S. ports. Most Americans don't even know this. This is insane. Just as it was to abandon our potential, the United States potential in rare earths and our dominance in other key industries and technologies. So after China's hostile moves, President Trump fired back on Truth Social that he had always felt that they've been lying in wait. And now, as usual, he said he's been proven right. There is no way that China should be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that have been quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position, a rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least. Well, it's extremely sinister. And businessmen in China are starting to disappear, we're learning. A very disturbing piece this week in The Economist documented the abuses. And it's not shocking when you read this piece that the suicide rate among business people there is rising. So why should we do business with this government? They'd do that to our businessmen too, by the way, if they could. They'd do it to all of us. Our only hope of turning this around is with President Trump. He's trying to dig America out of a massive trade deficit by reindustrializing the United States, by reshoring American manufacturing, and restoring jobs lost to offshoring. Now, he knows that we need to remove the Damocles sword that China has hanging over our heads with rare earths and with magnets. And if we don't, he knows that it's only a matter of time before our government and our people have to take orders from Beijing, or else. Xi clearly believes he has a superior leverage here because of China's rare earths and magnets, and that we're too weak, that we're too stupid, and I guess the country's too addled to come up with our own solutions. Xi thinks Trump's bluffing on all this, that he's not negotiating because he thinks the entire populist movement is a joke. But Xi is badly mistaken here, and he underestimates MAGA. Unlike Bush or Clinton or Obama or Biden, Donald Trump has the guts and the understanding to stand up to the CCP. Even with Xi acting, like King George, sitting over the Hessians, threatening us by cutting off our supplies and critical materials. So over the next few weeks, we're going to hear a lot of people panicking, and they're going to be urging Trump to cave to Xi and just get along. This would be a mistake. We can develop our own rare earths, and we can be more creative on our own supply chains, and we can force Xi to stand down. Xi's lobbyists in Washington, they don't deserve their fat paychecks this month. President Trump and his team didn't build the MAGA movement over 10 years just to turn over our freedom and our sovereignty to a dictator in Beijing. President Trump has given Xi every chance to come to the table, to find ways to work together, and that's not weakness. He's doing it from a position of strength, which is getting better by the day. So President Xi should have helped Trump on fentanyl. He should have helped with Ukraine. He should have helped establish a more balanced trading system. But Xi is more concerned with celebrating himself and humiliating the United States. My friends, China is irredeemably hostile to us. And it doesn't matter how many Chinese students we educate here, or how many nice comments we say about the Chinese engineers, how many cheap Chinese TVs we buy. They hold us in utter contempt. So until they experience what it's like when our market is closed and their factories are shut down one by one, they're not going to be ready to start adopting true market reforms, and they're not going to really work with us. They'll work against us, though. So good for President Trump for announcing 100% tariffs today in response to Xi's stupid move. Pull up a chair, grab the popcorn. But don't worry. The next few weeks are going to be very interesting to watch. And you're going to be watching Trump school Xi and protect America as no other president could. And that's the angle.
It's Nobel Peace Prize Day, and we have a winner.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace.
Champion of peace? So the guy who just ended 8 wars, right?
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado.
Come again? Maria doesn't sound like Donald. Even Maria was like, I don't want it.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. A very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me, though. I couldn't say.
Maria's fighting for democracy in Venezuela. Well, you go, girl. So is Trump. That's why we're blowing up Coke boats and just slapped a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head. Trump just brought peace to the Middle East, so it's obvious the Nobel Committee has the Norwegian strain of TDS. Reporters asked the chair of the Nobel, why the snub?
This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity.
It's not called the Nobel Courage Prize, and if it was, Trump's got it. He got shot in the head, popped up, and said, fight, fight, fight. In 2 terms, Trump hasn't started a single war, and has ended 8. And integrity? They gave the Nobel to Yasser Arafat, a terrorist. Al Gore got the Nobel for global warming. It doesn't take courage to recycle. Obama's Nobel was a DEI prize. Even he knew he didn't earn it.
I understand why war is not popular, but I also know this: the belief that peace is desirable is rarely enough to achieve it. Peace requires responsibility. Peace entails sacrifice.
Barry bombed Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Yemen, and Pakistan. As a matter of fact, who didn't Barry bomb? And are any of those countries at peace after bombs away Barry? Even Morning Joe said Barack got a DEI prize.
They also gave it to Barack Obama before he had actually done anything.
All right, still ahead on Morning Joe. We're going to get
Not
Steve
that Donald
over.
Trump noticed
Now
that.
stop.
Trump noticed the Nobels rigged like an election. Barack was nominated just 11 days after he was sworn in, and no one knows who nominated him. It's still a mystery. They gave it to him for his, quote, vision of a world free from nuclear weapons. Well, he gave the Iranians cash to build nuclear weapons, and then Trump obliterated them. Trump's done a lot more to get rid of nuclear weapons than Barry has. There are 5 members of the Nobel Committee, and only one of them is conservative. The chair worked for Doctors Without Borders, a Soros-funded consortium that pushes open borders. Doctors Without Borders actually won the Nobel in '99. And then Obama bombed one of their hospitals in Afghanistan, making Barack the first ever Nobel Peace Prize winner to bomb another winner. None of this is about peace. It's just about giving a prize to liberals. It's kind of like the Academy Awards when you think about it. You know who else admitted the Nobel's rigged? Putin.
He's really doing a lot to resolve complex crises that last for years, even decades. The committee has awarded the Nobel Peace Prize to people who have done nothing for peace. A person comes, good or bad, and in a month, in 2 months, boom, he gets it. For what?
Here's who else thinks Trump should have gotten it. 70,000 monks?
Today, 70,000 Cambodian Buddhist monks are wholeheartedly supportive of our Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet to nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. Please accept, Mr. President.
Crooked even thinks he kind of deserves it.
It's a really significant first step, and I really commend President Trump and his administration.
The leaders of Israel, Pakistan, Cambodia, Russia, and dozens of other dignitaries are in agreement here. Even leaders who are getting smoked by Donald Trump's trade deals are admitting the man has skills.
What's he like to deal with?
He's very sharp. He's very curious about people's opinions on a wide range of issues, and so he will solicit my views, other people's views on topics of the day, particularly international. He's decisive, and he has an ability to change the dynamic very quickly.
The president has skin in the game. 200 American soldiers are going to Israel to monitor the ceasefire. POTUS has personally guaranteed that Israel will not go back on its word. Thousands of Palestinians, because of Trump, are now free in Gaza. That's what Democrats wanted, right? So where's the squad and all the Arab Spring breakers who took to the streets demanding ceasefire now? I haven't seen a parade. They haven't been banging on their pots and pans. We still haven't seen a single tweet from Rashida Tlaib. And she's Palestinian. When you can't acknowledge when something good happens, we're not going to believe you when you say something's bad. All of these people have lost their credibility. Seems like they were never on the side of the Palestinians. They were on the side of Hamas. Seems like they're mad Hamas was forced to surrender. The White House isn't just stopping in the Middle East. Melania is negotiating hostage releases with Vlad.
President Putin and I have had an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of these children. In fact, 8 children have been rejoined with their families during the past 24 hours.
8 Ukrainian boys and girls are going to be home for Christmas, and we know how much Melania loves Christmas. The Trumps might not be bringing a Nobel home tonight, but they're bringing home hostages and children.
Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars.
And this just in, we have a Fox News alert. Joe Biden is signaling that he should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. Politico is reporting that Biden world says Trump's depraved and that he's getting too much credit for peace in the Middle East. According to sources, Biden says Trump plagiarized his peace plan. That's right. Biden thinks someone else plagiarized him. Sources tell Politico that Biden says he was the one who made the peace deal possible, and Trump took too long to seal the deal. Biden couldn't do it in a year and a half. Trump just did it in 9 months. Was it Biden's idea to put Trump Tower in Gaza too? Speaking of towers, are you ready for this? Not only are we getting new flagpoles, rose gardens, and new ballrooms, we're getting an Arc de Triomphe. Someone spotted a big, beautiful rendering of a triumphal arc sitting on the Resolute desk yesterday. It looks similar to the Arc in Paris, commissioned by Napoleon. Trump wants it done by America's 250th birthday, and he wants it right across from the Lincoln Memorial. So they better get started. And maybe we shouldn't deport all these illegals because that sounds like a lot of work. If no one else will give Trump awards, he'll just have to build them himself.
Yes, I know. Thank you. I love Me Too. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's the only member of The Man Show who still qualifies. Comedian and host of The Adam Carolla Show, Adam Carolla. She was a cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders and has the stitches to prove it. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Campagno. He cracks his knuckles before prostate exams. Chief Patient Officer at the wellness company, Dr. Drew Pinsky. And she even got expelled from homeschooling. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News kid, Driven her cat, too. All right. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this. Yeah.
Greg's Leftovers.
We got some good ones. Yeah, it's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them, so if they suck, we'll slather Joe Mackey in gravy and tie him to Katie Porter's bed. So tomorrow is Bill and Hillary Clinton's 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, my God.
Bill already made plans, dinner, dancing, some passionate lovemaking, and then home to Hillary. New York AG Letitia James was indicted on charges of mortgage fraud. Her lawyers say she could... Oh, thank you. Her lawyer said she could get house arrest if they can decide which one. President Trump is promoting his new Fight, Fight, Fight line of wristwatches. Not to be outdone, Joe Biden is promoting his new Help, Help, Help line of life alerts. Could have stopped there, I guess. It's day 10 of the government shutdown. Seriously, can we get some ice over there? Nancy Pelosi is starting to spoil. President Trump had his second physical of the year at Walter Reed Medical Center. And according to Trump, it was sold out. Researchers say dogs will probably never learn to speak due to their anatomical limitations. Oh, yeah? We'll explain this. I know, it's easy. Too easy. Houston's mayor denied rumors that a serial killer is running rampant after 16 dead bodies have been found in bayous this year, blaming it instead on homeless people throwing their dead friends into the water. Ooh. Damn, why didn't I think of that, said one woman. The worst fire in California history is now being blamed on an arsonist named Jonathan Rinderknecht. But liberals claim his name is actually German for climate change. Europe will soon force vegan products to stop using names that make them sound like meat. For instance, vegan sausage will now be called a carrot. In the last 2 years, the number of senior citizens ending up in the hospital for cocaine use has skyrocketed. You can always tell when a senior citizen is using coke, they're driving the speed limit. Joy Behar celebrated her 83rd birthday by joking that, quote, her holes are dried up. I know, the comment was so disgusting, her co-hosts could barely finish their buckets of chum. And finally, Taylor Swift's new album features a song called Wood, which is rumored to be about Travis Kelce's genitalia. She also claims that her hit song, Shake It Off, is what she says to Travis when he sees her naked. Unnecessarily mean. My favorite. All right. So the Nobel Peace Prize was just announced, and surprise, Trump didn't win. Yeah, you're shocked, right? Yeah, next you're going to tell me Katie Porter gets her lunch at the animal shelter. And yeah, the deadline for nominations was months ago, but they could have made an exception because some previous presidents certainly won it for doing a lot less than Trump did. Think about it. Barack Obama, he won it before he even sat down to pee in the White House bathroom. Jimmy Carter, the only way he could get hostages back is if he traded more hostages. Woodrow Wilson, he promised to keep America out of World War I, then immediately got us into World War I. Most of his second term was served by his wife after being incapacitated by a stroke. Sound familiar, huh? Little Woodrow Wilson humor. Of course, there's Al Gore, who wasn't president, but he claimed we'd all be dead and underwater by now, when that's only true if you got a ride home from Ted Kennedy. Yeah, too soon. Meanwhile, there's Trump. He brokered peace deals between Israel and Hamas, India and Pakistan, Serbia, Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia, Cambodia and Thailand, Congo and Rwanda. And even as we speak, he's trying to get Ilhan and her brother to renew their vows. Beautiful. Beautiful. And you want real peace? Even our southern border is calmer. Under Trump, illegal crossings hit a 55-year low. That's the peace you can measure in reduced crime and drugs not killing your cousin. So even though Trump may not get the prize, he is our prize. Because when he wins, we win. That's because his own personal goals to be great align with America's. We want to be great too. It would be far different if that wasn't the case. When a leader's personal aims don't match the country's. What's that like? Well, you lived through it. Biden's goals had nothing to do with ours, which is why Hunter never had to work, Dr. Jill ran the show, and his staff worried that men might be pregnant if they missed their period. But Trump's not that way. When he's in charge, so are you. He creates clear lines. You please him, you prosper. You cross him, you're screwed. So suddenly you get peace deals you'd never think were possible because you don't want to piss this guy off. Just ask Soleimani, the Houthi pirates, Iran, or the cartels. But save your breath because they no longer produce any. That's Trump's persuasion, a peacemaker until you piss him off. Then you wake up with a horse in your bed or a cow in your Irish pub. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Never fails, does it? And yeah, maybe Trump would like to have the Peace Prize, but he doesn't need it. Real success in life doesn't come from awards handed out by globalists in some irrelevant European state. It comes from having the greatest comeback in American politics, which is why we decided to give Trump something far better than the Nobel Peace Prize.
Congratulations, President Donald Trump. You're the winner of the biggest, baddest, most peaceful prize you losers have ever seen.
So, Mr. P, you may not get a shiny trophy from elites, but you're getting something better, a thumbs up from America, which is a distinctly different finger than the one we're giving those asshats in Norway. Adam, always a pleasure to have you here. I feel like I know you. No, do you find it kind of fun to see Trump never getting the recognition that he deserves, even though he just keeps doing stuff that none of these other clowns could do?
I think in a way it's the sort of badge of honor. Like it brings more notoriety to him. But also, do these awards even mean anything anymore? You know, after Obama and Gore, it's like, what if you won the Heisman the year after they gave it to Larry Flint?
Yes.
But it's that way with the Academy Awards. Like, they gave the best motion picture to Moonlight.
Yeah.
And now what?
Yes, that's true. That was an overrated film.
Completely.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm stuck on that Taylor Swift Wood song thing because I had a girlfriend years ago that broke up with me and then wrote a song called Chapstick. And I thought it was... Anyway, I'm now devastated.
Yes. Emily? This is a nice thing. They gave the prize to Venezuela's opposition leader, and she dedicated the prize to Trump.
Yeah, and she acknowledged and expressed gratitude for him supporting her in her endeavor, which I think speaks to the fact that unlike those that argue he's an isolationist, he's actually has his hands in everything and is showing support for freedom everywhere. And no, he does not need this award. No one needs it to know that he has made history. Obama was awarded it 9 months after taking office, as you point out, before he even sat down to pee. I got that joke. But it was aspirational, right? He was given the award for promotion of nuclear non-proliferation and a new climate of diplomacy. Mm-hmm. He hadn't actually done anything. And the irony, the sad, horrific, fatal irony is that actually it led to more nukes. It led to destabilization and aggression and ISIS rearing its ugly head, and everything in that aftermath of him getting this peace award was anything but. But then you enter in Trump, who started this with the Abraham Accords, and that was built on economic stability and intelligence sharing and tourism thriving, and that is still present today between Israel and all of these Arab countries. It wasn't a flash in the pan. It wasn't a comment made like Biden did where he said, the guns have gone down in Gaza. Well, now they have, 2 years later, thanks to President Trump. So back in the day, in 2009, you know, the Finland Awards, it based on hope. But now we know who's actually making history, and that's President Trump.
Wow. Emily. A little hard on Obama there, calling him a war criminal like that.
And the awards have been downgraded from Finland now.
Yeah.
But listen, this is the Trump effect writ large. What has happened to mainstream media? Trump has diminished their reputation. The same thing. It's not just that if he followed Larry Flint, is he has actually changed reality. The Nobel Prize doesn't mean anything because of this. It's like they're afraid of him. They don't want to give it to him. He's not a man of integrity or whatever their nonsense was. But the reality is they've shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, you know what it's like? It's like the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yep.
That was remember how elitist that was, and everybody would get all dressed up and go, and then Trump just said, I'm not going. Screw you guys, and then it just collapsed.
Yeah, he changes reality.
Yeah, he changes
Scott
reality.
Adams keeps reminding you and me that reality has shifted.
Yeah.
And maybe there'll be a new award that he'll invent, and that'll have more status.
I just did.
You just did it. Well,
Yeah.
No, that's right. Listen, that's what I thought when I saw that little video.
Yeah. He has to come to this show for us to present it, though. I'm not going to Mar-a-Lago again. You know, Kat, it is amazing that Hitler brings
peace. Oh, God.
No.
That's where you're going for my question?
No, but I mean, this is a guy that was supposed to be Hitler, and he's bringing peace to the Middle East. He got the Jews and Hamas to like agree. Who knows what's going to happen after? It's phase one. But wasn't he the threat to the planet? And now he's like just knocking out peace deals?
Yeah, well, this reminds me of, so like I said yesterday, Obama got the Peace Prize based on vibes, right?
Yeah.
Like the little bumper stickers with the O is a peace sign. Those bumper stickers literally got him a Peace Prize. They were like, oh, have you seen the bumper stickers? Let's give it to this guy.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like, you ever know somebody who's like really, 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 really smiley and sweet and friendly, but she's actually the biggest bitch in the world?
Yes. Yeah, Ainsley
It's
Earhart.
like that. Come on.
I'm kidding.
Nice. She's so nice.
I am.
She's so nice.
The joke is she's actually really nice.
She's so nice.
She's really nice.
But then, you know.
But Harris Faulkner? No, just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Versus a person who's rougher around the edges, but maybe is actually like Like, I'm actually not a bitch. I just look like one.
Yeah, that's true.
Good quick question. Speaking of that, are you taking us to a rave after this show or something? What's going
the
on
outfit?
here?
I am actually. I'm kidnapping you, bag over your head. We're going to go to a rave.
Let's do it.
Wow. Wish you'd keep that personal stuff off the show.
Sorry. We are not on a break yet?
Yeah, we have 5 million people at home, Dr. Drew.
I honestly, I mean, after Obama gets it, it's like, well, what? He didn't do anything. It was all just based on this. He still will get credit. I mean, Trump will still get credit of some kind for seeing this. People see that this happened. Hopefully, it works out.
But you know what? The same people who write the history books are the same people that hate Trump. So that it will, over time, will become something completely different.
How much longer are we going to have books?
That is true. Finally, we're getting rid of those things. Why couldn't that happen when I was a kid?
Oh, I know.
We had to read books.
Well, listen, what happened to COVID? Like, my kids didn't go to school for 2 years. That would have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
I know. Why can't we get some kind of global disease? Ugh, it's so unfair.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.